From the first moment I laid eyes on it, I knew I had to have it. The television commercial was so compelling, so engaging, so exciting. And there, standing in the toy aisle of J.J. Newberry's that Saturday morning downtown, I came face to face with the real thing. And they didn't lie on the TV. It was everything that I had dreamed it would be. A fully articulated action figure of Daniel Boone, with all of the accessories and his sidekick Mingo. Oh, the play that I could have with that. I had to have it. And so I ran down the aisle to find my mom, who, as usual, was in the fabric section, picking out the latest hideous material to make our fall school wardrobe with. And I waited patiently for her to finish and then dragged her down the aisle to see what I had seen. And she said, "Yeah. Can I have it?" "No." "Well, why not?" "Because I said so." I knew that was the last word. And I tried one more time, and then I realized that if I persisted in the store, it would be very humiliating to me. And so I gave in. But when we got home, I began my campaign. I pleaded, I begged, I cajoled. Not just that Saturday afternoon, but every day. Every day. I did everything I could to win her over. I did my chores without complaining. I even put up with my brother. I didn't backtalk. I did my homework. I did whatever I was asked of me. And I said, please and thank you. I wash my hands before every meal. I brush my teeth. I clean my fingernails. Everything that I could think of that was a plague upon her. And after a month and a half, one Saturday morning, I launched a full frontal attack. One last time. And in exasperation, she simply said, "Okay, let's go." And we got in the car, and we were off to J.J. Newberry to get Daniel Boone. The Bible talks a lot about persistence. We have the story of Abraham and God dickering over the sparing of Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham is absolutely persistent, and in the end, God capitulates. Jesus tells a story of a man who has unexpected visitors late at night. He has nothing to feed them, so he goes to the neighbor and asks. And the neighbor's already in bed and says, "No, I'm not getting up to help you." And Jesus says, not because he is a good neighbor, but because the man is persistent. He finally gets up and gives him what he needs. Persistence in prayer is a byword in the scriptures. That's why Jesus gives us his prayer, the Lord's Prayer. A model prayer that we can pray at any time, at any occasion. For it contains all that we need to say to God. persistence in prayer. Persistence. Finally won out. And there we were in J.J. Newberry's. And there were no more Daniel Boones. We went to the clerk and asked if she would be getting more in, and she said no. That was the only supply they were scheduled to receive. I was crushed. But she said, we do have the display model, if that would be okay. I can wrap that up for you. My mom looked at me and I said, okay. So we took it home. My excitement was renewed until I opened the package. I found that the display model didn't move. Its arms and legs were solid. And instead of a full range of accessories, there was only the musket left. It was awful. How often I have people come to me and wonder why their prayers weren't answered. I know that feeling. Were they not good enough? Did they not have enough faith? Did they not pray hard enough or long enough or say the right prayers or get enough people involved? Did they not get their wish on enough prayer lists? Why, Pastor, didn't God answer my prayer? The issue is that God is not Santa Claus. It's not a matter of being good little boys and girls and filling out your Christmas wish list and getting what you want. I learned very early in my life that never happened even with Santa Claus, let alone with God. God calls us to be persistent in prayer, not to get what we want, but to stay in contact with the one who gives us all that we need and who promises to be with us in the midst of those times of desolation and disappointment and crisis. Persistence is to connect and keep connected to that relationship that gives us life, even in the midst of all that is going wrong. It is the relationship that offers to us, in the midst of our direst needs, comfort, hope, and courage. And that, my friends, is why we are persistent in our prayers, that we may know the God who promises always to be with us. Amen.